Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. This is going to be my first um, collective reading for everyone. So hello and welcome. Um, I'm gonna do something that I feel is a little different than what I've seen. I'm gonna start with my one trusty tarot deck that I've only done a handful of readings on, so this is pretty much a virgin deck. Like, I just wanted to say that. But I'm gonna do some messages from here, and I'm sorry, Spirit's already giving me downloads. And then I have 3 oracle decks here that I want to use as well. The Prism Oracle deck, the Inner Star Oracle deck, and the Luminous Dreams deck. So I'm gonna do a main pull here for the collective. Anyone who's meant to hear this message will get the message, that they're supposed to hear. I will do some supporting cards from these 2 oracle decks, and then if it's really, really confusing, I'm gonna tap into dreams, people. I'm gonna see what you guys are dreaming about. So thanks for joining. If you're new here, you know what to do. If you like the vibes, go ahead and support your girl, okay? This is my first time doing this for the public, so bear with me. I may have some pauses and some awkward moments, all that stuff, okay? I love you guys. I love you. I love you. I love you. We are divinely protected here by Archangel Michael in the Eye of God, commander of demons. And we are going to remain protected through this entire reading. Any negative energy, any negative ideation, any negative intention towards me, this channel, this collective, are return to sender, return to sender, return to sender. Reflect it right back to deal with themselves. Okay, so I decided that I'm going to use a mic for this. I think my fans in the background were just a little bit too loud. So yeah, this is my first reading for the collective. And this is just any message that we are meant to hear right now. Okay, again, I am starting with a tarot deck, the Monday Mystics tarot deck, linked down below in the description. These will all be linked. And then we're going to support with the Prism Oracle deck and the Inner Star Oracle deck. And then we'll go into the Luminous Dreams deck for some extra support if we need it. All right, and something I'm being called to actually write. So I brought out my notebook here, and let's just move this a bit so we can see more here. Don't mind me while I take a seat. I'm being called to use a purple pen and this white chocolate pen that I have. So the image is coming to me, and I'm going to either write or draw with these. So I don't know, this is just coming to me right now, literally as I'm making this. Watermelon, okay? And it is about to be summer. This is me drawing a watermelon, y'all. Please don't judge. A watermelon is coming to me. Watermelon hat. This is so big. Hat. Raindrops. This is raindrops. I will write what these are as well. Rain. Oh, my pen doesn't work, so maybe someone's dealing with something that didn't go through, a tool that stopped working on them recently, maybe literally getting a download of causing delays in workflow. Watermelon. Look at this. I'm gonna have to grab another pen. That's ironic. Maybe something's dried out. Maybe we're feeling a little down dry for the ladies, the femmes. Perhaps we need to get our moisture and hydration game back up. Hat, and specifically a cloche hat. Don't ask me why. Cloche. The ink is completely dried up now. I'm gonna grab another pen. Let's see what we're at. Okay, so I'm back with a new pen. I chose to go with this sort of teal blue. Um, the first thing coming to me immediately is having to redo something. Having to redo something. So maybe that had to do with the tool that stopped working, tool or pen or device that stopped working. Blackouts, outages, outages. And this is just coming to me now. I mean, electric, electric, and maybe and storms, storms. Maybe that explains the rain. You know, so clouds. In that case, clouds close kind of has a similar. Y'all, don't judge me on these, okay? This is my cloud, and this is again literally sources telling me to draw right now. Cloud storms, and it could also just be dark night of the soul, which is not just one night. I just want everyone to know that if you are going through a dark night of the soul, this could be months, it could be a year, it could be a week, it could be one, it's likely not going to be just one night. If you're going through this right now, bear with me because I feel like that's where source is taking me, and we're gonna go ahead and focus on this as the meaning for our reading. So let's put some of those stars. These are sparkles and stuff. Okay, this is how we're gonna get our topics. Put some hearts because Dark Night of the Soul is not for the faint of heart. All right, so this is our quick little download on topics. Obviously, summer. There's some storms and clouds. Dark Night of the Soul is kind of what's coming to me right now. Let's get our reading going. Okay, Spirit. Thank you so much for allowing me to speak through you, through the cosmos, through God, and allowing me to deliver a message to the collective. Okay, and we are divinely protected as we pull this message up. But what do I need to know, Spirit? Whew. What do I need to know? What does the collective need to know? Not me. I'm so used to saying that. When I do like my single card picks. What does the collective need to hear right now, Spirit? Okay, so as I was waiting for that clip to download, all of these cards jumped out different times. I'm going to continue to pull so I can get a much more broad message. We have 5 cards so far. I'm just going to keep going. Spirit, what does the collective need to hear? And there's a reason you clicked on this video. And this is something you need to hear right now as you're going through this. Even if you're not going through a dark night of the soul, perhaps you're going just through a dark time. Perhaps you're fighting your own darkness. Man, okay. The deck's gotten oddly tight. This is so interesting. Usually these cards are flying out. I'll do this one here. Hanged Woman. Okay. Source. Source, is there anything else that the collective needs to hear right now? Should I go ahead and just focus on these 6? Source, if there's anything else, we'll do that one. Whoop! Got me that one. Source, anything else for the collective? I was planning on pulling about 10 to 12 cards to get a really broad message. Source, okay. Source said you want 12, here's 12. Let's get into it. All right, so what have we got here? I don't know if that was reversed or not. For the sake of this being my first reading, I will keep this. I will keep everything upright. Oh, baby. Okay. Okay. All right, we are going through it, huh? Yeah? Can you guys see these? So, all right. Basically, wow. Okay. So, The first thing that's jumping out for me are some pivotal moments where intuition needs to be trusted or can be trusted. It's like you're tapping in, or have a, you've already tapped into your intuition. You may even know where you're supposed to go. You know, there's gold on the at the end of the rainbow, but your things are stagnant. Things are stagnant. Backstabbing. There's been some bullshit going on. Okay, who are these men here? Who are these guys? King of Swords and Knight of Swords. Sounded like some bullshit. I'll tell you that. Let's focus in on the guys real quick because I feel like we need to see what the heckle schmeckles is going on here. So um, for getting some clarity here, the King and Knight of Swords have to do with mental clarity and focus. Okay, so I see what's happening here. The Eight of Swords did originally come out in reverse, which does have to do with liberation and awakening. So perhaps now you're seeing everything for what it is. I know that she's blindfolded here, and it could represent that you were blinded before, but you see now, or you will be seeing soon. Okay, the mental clarity and focus, and the third eyes here being portrayed are just telling me that like now you see clearly. You can now clearly see what you're supposed to do, where you're supposed to go. Okay. There's been some trials. Been some trials, and maybe you may not even be in the exact place you want to be at this moment. But you know what? That's exactly how it goes when you have your awakening, guys. It is. It can be so frustrating because you see the end goal, you see exactly where you're supposed to be and what you're supposed to be doing, but you're not there yet physically in this 3D realm. And that's okay because even if you're not there, or even if you just got out of that and you're finally seeing, you're still in the tunnel, you're finally seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. It's just like you may still have some things to sort out. And that's where this feeling of stagnancy is sort of taking over here. But stay sharp, stay sharp. At the same time, take your rest, okay? And we'll get to that a little bit more. I think I'm gonna go ahead and just jump right into the Prism Oracle deck, and then we'll see what else is going on here, especially with Pentacles. I love seeing, who doesn't love seeing Pentacles? Um, these are very, very lucky cards usually. I'm seeing Two of Pentacles, Nine of Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles. Abundance, things are clear, bright, infinite. Okay. But we have some things going on here in the Wands department. Wands. So, after this clip, I'll go ahead and get some Wands clarity, jump to the Pentacles, and we'll see what's going on here with the major arcanas. Boom. Okay, so some notes on the Wands really fast. You may feel like someone's out to get you. Now, this card originally came out reversed, so usually it's like backstabbing straight up, or like having a tool, having the same stuff that others have that you can, you know, what I mean, dishing it back out what they're giving to you. Oh my gosh, the messages are coming so fast, and I can't even speak fast enough to get them out. But so this came in reverse, meaning like you might be paranoid. You might be paranoid that like someone from the past is out to get you, or maybe you feel guilty about something you're doing now. Just like relax. That's all in your mind. And as a matter of fact, go ahead and build your team. Get a team that has the tools that you have, or complement you where where you lack. So that way you trust them. If you're picking the people on your side, you're gonna trust them, right? I mean, and if you don't, that's an issue that you're gonna have to figure out on your own. And I just want to go ahead and quickly say here that I am not a mental health professional. I've just been through this stuff myself. If you really are seeking, I'm going to put a disclaimer in the description. All right, but getting back to it, Jesus. That was a crazy confirmation. Did y'all hear that? Okay. Okay. You probably can't hear that because I'm using this mic. But there's screaming happening outside. I'm gonna take that as confirmation that yeah, get your team together. Build your own team. Build trust within that team, okay? It doesn't even have to be a big one. It could be like, you're the so I'm a designer. So, I do the visual branding front end side. You can get yourself a coder, you can get yourself a marketer, like make sure your team are people that you trust. Handpick them, okay? Um Competition. I mean, are you in rivalry with someone or is that in your mind? Like, and as a matter of fact, like, what do they say? Comparison is the thief of joy. Okay, as long as your foundation's good, you shouldn't be worried about nothing else no one else has going on, and they shouldn't be worried about you. If people think that they're in competition with you, laugh in their face and walk away. How hard is that? How big of a win is that to be like, huh, you thought, and continue on? You know what I mean? With your life, with your day. And one of the best things, I have to say, I get challenged often because I don't quite fit anyone's mold. I do. I also am unexpected in a lot of ways. Like people try to typecast me and all this stuff. So yeah, so this has happened over and over and over in my life. And what I've learned is that honestly, the biggest lesson of all of these people coming at me crazy and challenging me was to learn to just sort of take a breath in the moment, maybe even giggle about it, let them know it's not a big deal as they might think, and in whatever way that means for you, and just sort of push on. Like if this is a manager at work and they're like you're exceeding their expectations, um because they're trying to, like, I don't know, shark around and get you fired or something, like they make a big deal about something very very small, just let them know professionally how small it is. Like they're coming at you for blocking off your calendar. Well, yeah, I can use any app for that. That's not a big deal. You get like deflating their ego is honestly, and I'm a Capricorn, so deflating egos is one of my favorite pastimes. Okay, so that's my advice to you there. There's no competition unless you want there to be. All right. If you're in sports, perhaps that makes sense, but even then, there should be sportsmanship. There should be, mutual respect. Okay. Um, I'm gonna quickly go over the major arcana and then the pentacles, and then we'll start getting some supporting cards. Ooh, confirmation. Okay, so just looking at the major arcana quickly, this is just having a lot to do with intuition. I mean, she is highly intuitive. She is in the ether. Like she so if you're tapping into your divine feminine, no matter your physical gender or perceived gender, that doesn't matter here. Tap into that divine feminine and use your intuition. Stop trying to control things. Let things flow. Let things flow. Let things play out how they're supposed to. You'd be surprised. As soon as you let go is when things start to really, really unfold and like take shape. I mean, look at me doing this reading. It's not that I never thought I'd do this, it's just that I didn't know how to get here. And honestly, everything just kept, like, things kept moving aside on my schedule where it's just like, wow, I have the time. I have the time daily now. So it's just like get into it. Let things flow. Also, those of you just now getting into this, those of you seeking more knowledge, okay, start looking at your own lineage and your own ancestry. Start looking into it. No matter where you start, you'll find what some of the answers that you're looking for. You'd be surprised. Those that came before us knew a lot, knew so much more than that we're told. And no matter your background, I mean, you can be from the African continent, you can be from Far East Asia, South Asia, you can be from Europe. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You can be from the Americas, okay? Our ancestors have so much knowledge. Tap into that DNA, that Akashic record, okay? Just go ahead and like ask. Honestly, if you have a recent family member that's passed, even if you're that you trust, that you trust, okay? Um, you know, talk to them, give them a ring, call them up. I often do this before I go to sleep. I'll talk to my grandmother or my grandfather, um, and I can get into that another time. But I'll ask them some simple like questions. Both were highly intuitive. One was super religious, but in a huge, an insanely intelligent man. I mean, so he had a lot of knowledge, and who knows, maybe they can share that with you through the DNA code that they gave you. Okay, tap in, look into your ancestry, look into your culture, see what knowledge they have about this. Tap in, tap in. Personally, I don't do. Oops. Personally, I don't do anything. I don't do anything outside of my own culture. Some people like to indulge in. It's good to learn. It's definitely good to learn from other cultures and expand your knowledge. I'm never gonna knock that. Like, learn more, please. But personally, I just feel most connected to my own heritage, so I stick to that. Even though I only own this one tarot deck right now, and we'll see. I followed all the rules to get here, so that's my advice. Just take it easy right now. Tap into your own culture, okay? I'm gonna jump into the Pentacles cards here. So first of all, we are planting seeds that are going to for surely result in abundance. So whatever projects you're working on, whatever endeavors you are setting foot onto into, you're past the crossroads and you have started taking the steps and planting the magical life force seeds, okay, to get the ball rolling. Hold on one sec. Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure this was recording. Okay, so and there's just there's the it's time to also express yourself as well. So here with the Nine of Pentacles, it's actually showing self-expression and like indulgence and play and like having fun and um really just allowing abundance to be in your life. So many of us have financial traumas or limiting beliefs, and it's time to get rid of that. It's time to get rid of that. I mean, and you're working on it, but like, let's clear that out. Let's have fun with what we're doing, okay? And like, let's live. All right. Quickly, I'm gonna look at the Two of Pentacles here because that's the only one I get to. So this has to do more with balance. Okay. Let's see here. Painting, create structure so that you're able to focus on the important task at hand. Building your long-term visions. It is the same as, so you're starting the new steps, you're having fun, but there's balance. Okay, you don't want to overwork yourself. You don't want to underwork yourself. You don't want to have too much fun and not enough work. Like, it's all about balance, and that's how things are going to become much more harmonious. Okay. That's the main reading. Now I'm gonna actually go ahead and just start pulling from our prism deck. Why not? Okay, Spirit, thank you so much for this message for the collective. Oh, it's jumping out. Ooh, abundance. I love this deck so much. Okay, can we stop shaking? Why is it shaking? Okay, Spirit. Whoa, movement, intuition, Spirit. We're gonna do 6 cards, so 3 more cards, Spirit, that the collective needs to hear to support our message today. We're going through the Dark Night. We need some quick messages here, and we just want to know, like, or we've come out of the Dark Night, and oh, that one was burning. Woo! We've come out of the Dark Night, Spirit, and we're ready to receive. We're ready to receive. We're ready to receive. Thank you so much. One more card for us, Spirit. One more. Woo! Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, so that card was sadness. Okay, so of course, when we're going through this Dark Night, you are literally transforming. Okay, you are literally things are changing, and so it's going to feel a little crazy. It's going to feel quite. It's going to feel like maybe you lose friends in the process. Um, you lose friends, you lose connections that you had before, and it can feel lonely. It really can. It really can. I would say this: don't let yourself sink, because sadness is just a message for us from our bodies, from our hearts. Sadness just tells us, "Oh, look, and that's the cloud, isn't it?" And the raindrop. Sadness just tells us that we feel deeply and that we are human, and that we're in these human vessels, and we feel, and we are compassionate, and we're not just robots. Okay, sadness is a message, and I can get some more on that. Cleanse came up. I would say continue it. Like, so with cleanse, to me, this says clear out. My favorite, one of my favorite phrases is clear space, clear mind. Okay, um, declutter, because if you're not, if your space isn't clear, it's a reflection. Oh, sorry, spirit's going so fast. The messages are growing faster than I can speak. If your space isn't clear, it's a reflection of your mind. So that's showing that your mind isn't clear. And look, understandable considering that you're climbing out the hole of despair. Okay, like completely understandable. With cleanse, it's also just a way to show yourself and your things, your space, some appreciation. And honestly, it's one of the best ways to clear out the clouds of sadness, if you ask me. Okay? Success, I mean, we know we're gonna get there. Okay? This card to me just says, like, I'm on the road to success. I'm trusting. Oops, I keep messing with my mic. I apologize. So, let me quickly look up the success message. So yeah, tap into that feeling of accomplishment, because you're doing that. You're doing that, okay? You did that. So you've worked hard to get here. Appreciate that, Take a moment. Like, even if things are cloudy and murky right now, and you trusting your intuition alone, look at all this third eye action going on here. Means that you're doing something right. Okay? And just appreciate everything along the way. Especially getting into movement, it just shows that things are moving along. Like, um so if you have some plans that you've written out. A lot of us are chronic listers and planners, and we feel like planning is enough sometimes, and we don't actually take the action that we planned out, because the planning feels like it was the action. Go ahead and like start acting on some of that. And even if you do 10%, even if you do 1%, let's say you are learning coding, like, uh get one little lesson down. You know what I mean? Learn and understand one bit of code, like one line. Create something. How about this? If you are an artist, you're an artist intuitively, but you feel like you can't draw, start with sketching. Like, go on YouTube, look up a beginner sketching tutorial. That's the first step. That is movement. That counts. Everyone thinks we have to get to the end goal. If you're a musician, you create songs all the time. You just don't post them. Post the songs. Put the song out. Put the song out. I don't know who needs to hear it. Okay. Movement is any step you take towards the direction that you are trying to get to. Movement, and also take the time to appreciate yourself when you are making moves. Okay. Big, small, medium, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Okay, and abundance is literally at your door. Don't turn it down either. Yeah, don't turn that abundance down when it shows up at your door. If someone hands you a bag of money, are you gonna be like, no, no thanks? When the opportunities come up, please take the opportunities. Even if it's not exactly what you wanted, you need to show universe that you're able to accept the abundance that's coming to you. How will you maintain it, On a whole side note, I've been hearing a lot of stories about like mermaids and doing deals with entities that are like not human. And people experience abundance, and then when they break their deals, they lose the abundance. And it's like, well, you knew the contract. When we come here, we are essentially on contract at birth. And unfortunately, we kind of have to break contract, and we're going to, in a way, or you can play the game and get that, within the rules of the contract, you can still maintain your abundance that way. But you also have to realize, like, right now times are changing. Like, the contracts are going to be null and void naturally. So if the abundance shows up for you in any form, I mean, it could be farmland, it could be blank land, empty land, like a plot for a home to be built, like that is abundance. Yes, money has to be put in, but abundance comes back. Like, you plant the seed. Do you remember this? You plant the seed and it grows into something. Do you see? That is how abundance is created and maintained, and that's the flow of things. That is the flow of things. All right, I'm gonna jump into the Inner Star Oracle to get some more insight for us. I think we're just gonna pull like 4 big old cards. So let's get into it. Spirit, okay. This deck tends to be a little tougher, so bear with me. Spirit, what does the collective need to hear as they're coming through coming out of their dark night? Spirit, what does the collective need to hear? We'll do this one. So sometimes, I don't know how it is for you guys. Sometimes my fingers get a little tingly when I touch a certain card. So I'm just gonna do it that way for this deck. Or anything that sort of pops out like that for me as well. Inner resources. Oh, I love this card. And we'll do one more for the collective from the Inner Star Oracle deck. One more card. Spirit, what you got for us? What do we need to know? What do we need to know? Just one more. Okay, so Spirit has blessed us with these cards here. Hold on one second. I'm just gonna adjust this. Like, how are we doing? Do I need more light? Are we? I don't know. Hold on. Okay, I think I will. Oh, sorry. If the camera angle changes like through the whole video, like, please forgive me. Like, it's just. Okay, Inner Star Oracle. I'm actually gonna pull one, like a 5th card here. So one last message that the collective needs to hear, and we'll jump right into these messages. I'm liking this so far. Magical gratitude, expand your heart. We'll go with this one. This one's solo. Inner resources, new perspective, and present moment. Love it. Okay, I think these kind of speak for themselves. Magical gratitude is being grateful for everything that you have and everything that's coming. Gratitude is such a beautiful practice, and you can do it in any way that you feel is right for you. I'll give you an example of what I do for practicing gratitude. Honestly, I got into content creation and just documenting my everyday life to appreciate the little things, and that is my form of gratitude. um, just as an example, that's not to say it's something you absolutely have to do, but this is an example, maybe some inspiration for you. You can write, you can sing, you can. Oops, I'm always messing with the mic. You can write, you can sing, you can speak, you can go outside, touch some grass, get some sunlight, some fresh air, move your body, practice gratitude, get into exercise. I do yoga every morning. So that's something that works for me. I've been doing this for years now, and it literally helps me see my whole day in a whole different light. I drink water. Drink your water and stay hydrated, guys, okay? um I'm going to move on from magical gratitude because I'm going to go ahead and assume that my collective here the family here knows how to practice gratitude and to be grateful, and that's where the abundance is coming from. Universe gives you what you the vibration that you're on. Universe gives you more of that. So I'm assuming here that since you are grateful, you are going to attract more abundance. Boom. Expand your heart. Okay, some of us have closed off heart chakras. Okay, so for this last part here, Spirit just has some, beautiful messages from the Inner Star Oracle deck, and I'm going to try to sum it up as much as possible. I mean, we know magical gratitude is how we're going to attract more abundance. We just have to trust that it may not be, we may not even get the abundance in the way that we think. So be open to receiving in ways that you didn't even think were possible. Expand your heart. Are you fearful? Are you judgmental? Are you feeling pain? Work with that and feel it through and ask yourself what's bringing you there. Even if you have to go all the way back to childhood, that's what therapy's for, and you know that's what sometimes we're here for as well, or people that you trust, you know. But there's some work that needs to be done on the heart chakra. Okay, so look into heart chakra healing, listen to frequencies that align with the heart chakra, and open that up and cry it out. Get them tears out. Okay, feel it through, and you're gonna feel so much better on the other side of that. And in the same breath, trust yourself. You have inner resources. You have everything you need within you. Your body holds on to all of the knowledge that you needed for survival to get to adulthood. And now that you're here, most of you should be adults watching this. Even if you're not, you've survived thus far. And your body holds on to those things. What's going on in your mind, what's going on in your heart, your emotions, your solar plexus, your power center, like how's that intuition, or how is that drive, that motivation, okay? We're feeling unmotivated, what's going on there? Talk to your body, okay? Like you talk to your plants and your pets, okay, and your babies. You should be talking to your babies. Those that get it, okay. Oh my goodness, all right. And when you talk to your babies, talk to your inner child, okay. Talk to him or her or them, and ask them what's going on in your mind, your spirit, and your emotional center, okay, your heart. Also be open to new perspectives. I mean, we are so conditioned to take everything as concrete, and it's just untrue. Like, this world is so malleable, and you can literally think a thought and that brings it into your reality. Like, we know now with our third eye open that we can tune into other perspectives now. There's infinite timelines, guys. So yeah, there are infinite timelines, and so if you're wanting to get into a little bit of quantum physics, just look into that because it's absolutely fascinating. um Whenever you make a choice, there are infinite other timelines of the other choices. Like, it's kind of a lot to take on, but it just goes to show, like, nothing's concrete. Like, everything, there's a million perspectives on one thing, and that's how we're all one, and we're source, and we're viewing ourselves in all these different perspectives. Okay, that being said, let's come back in and be in the present moment. I mean, if you find yourself reliving the past over and over and over, that's going to put you in a state of despair, I'll tell you that. Okay, if you find yourself just waiting for the future to happen, I mean, why? Like, can I be blunt? I feel myself getting to a point here, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. I'm not gonna go into the dreamer deck. Maybe we'll see. But honestly, present moment is just saying, like, um, be here, be now. Practice stillness. Remember that feeling of stagnancy and like things aren't moving, it's for a reason. Like you're supposed to be still. You're supposed to be still, take rest, okay? And just view things from a different perspective. Like obviously you have no choice because you're obviously awakening. But and you're tapping into a new timeline. Like your old self can't come into the new timeline. It really can't. So if you have to take some moments and just sit with yourself and talk it through, like, hey girl, like why are we freaking out like the old us would? What's bringing us there? You know, do we want to be like that in the new timeline? No. Everything we've been through, we've already learned and been through and gotten to this point. So we don't need to go back to that. Okay, be here and now. Be here and now. I know it's hard for the overthinkers. I get it. Do that 1 through 5 exercise. Look into these things. Find your own resources, okay? Like I'm telling you, everything you have is within you. There's something that worked before to get you out of your last anxiety spell as well. Someone needs to hear that. So what within you got you to bring yourself back to the present moment? Okay, with that, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. I love you guys. So, what I'll do for this specific reading, I wanted to pull some extra cards for the collective regarding dreams. What sort of dreams have you been having? I'm going to go ahead and list this in perhaps a Patreon or an exclusive vault of extra information. But those of you who have been with me thus far, thank you so much for coming in and clicking onto this video. I appreciate you so much for listening to my very first collective reading. Thank you for being here. I love you. Leah loves you. Okay. And, we're in this together, y'all. Welcome to the Aquarian age. Okay. I love you so much. Goodbye.